you can't handle the heat.
Booyaka, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Can't Handle the Heat. It's your boy G Swizz.
Joe.
That was good. Joined by Jokesy. Mike is going to hop on later. And of course, we're going to start out with our favorite segment, Shano News. Welcome on, Shano.
What's up, legends? Good to see you guys as always. This week, we'll start off in Laguna Open, where shout out one of my best friends, Kate Riley, who I think you guys have met. She plays at Stanford. She qualified for the main draw, won a match in the main draw. So shout out her. She had a great finish. And in regards to the top finishers, we got the winners, Andy Benish and Lila Tucker, who Andy just picked up another stud. Lila Tucker, he's been playing with a bunch of different guys this year. He played with Lev for a while. He plays with this guy, Peter Canole from with a ponytail a lot.
Yep.
He plays on 12th Street six-man team. He's a really good player. And him and Andy beat a lot of good teams. They beat Troy Field and Paul Lottman in the finals on a very Yeah, Troy and Paul won the first set pretty comfortably. And in the second set, Troy had a swing. It was either Troy or Paul. I don't know exactly because they didn't record it. But there was a little group thread drama going on in the 21st chat. About it. But so there was a ball that Troy hit that might have been looks in on camera on a photo of it, but they called out in the second set, and Andy and Lila ended up coming back, winning the second and then winning the third, taking it home in 3 sets.
Shano,
third place. Sorry, you go.
Wait, sorry. No. Before, I just want you to kind of explain the importance of Laguna, because people, like maybe our listeners don't really understand like the importance and like, what the Laguna Open is. Is it AVP or is it not? And why is it so cool?
The Laguna Open has been going on for 64 years. It's one of the oldest tournaments of all time. Every AVP player loves it. It's not an AVP tournament. It's a CBVA tournament. They don't have a big enough beach to run a full AVP field. It's impossible for them, really. But anymore. But it's a brilliant event. It's the best. It's a really cool venue down there. And the culture's great. They throw a really cool beach party. They do a lot of really good stuff down there. I haven't made it down there personally, but I've seen videos. I've seen a bunch of photos, and from everything I've heard, it's super cool. And one of my other buddies, Jess Bianchi from my 6-man team, and he plays at Santa Barbara. He made the main draw as well with Ryan Wilcox. Him and Wilcox were in the main draw. They went uno dos adios, got smacked up pretty good. But shout out them for making it. But Jess said it was a pretty cool weekend, and a ton of the AVP guys played. Taylor Crabb played with one of his like kids he mentors, Ford, who's a kid at Santa Barbara who's a total stud. Ford Harmon. I think he's 16, 17 years old now. He's a really good player. Him and Taylor played in the qualifier and ran into a good team in the round to get in. And they lost, but it was pretty cool to see Taylor playing with someone young like that. It was, taking a leadership role, being a good teammate, like all that stuff. Cool to see from him. Another team from that weekend was the Sander brothers. They played together. They did solid. They finished 5th. They lost to Avery and Frischman twice. They lost to them. Wow. There was a little scuffle from what I heard too in the first match. Third set, Frischman bombed a ball and kind of stared down Taylor Sander, and Sander came under the net. And I heard that there was like people got involved and the tournament directors got involved, but it ended up not being a big deal whatsoever. But there was a little incident. So shall we put it? So yeah, there was a little drama down there. You got to love that. And like, again, I think what makes Laguna so special is just like the vibe down there. Like, it's an educated crowd. The crowd knows the game so well. It's like Manhattan, but it's even more kind of tight knit community, like smaller, like even smaller, because it's just and so it's just a cool event. A lot of the pros played in it. Chase and Avery got third. Lev Prima and Jacob Landell got third. They did really well. Travis and JM got 5th, along with the Sander brothers. So that's your top 5 on the men's side. Women's side, I'm not 100% sure who won, but I saw there was a couple fun teams. Brandy Wilkerson was playing with Taylor Crabb's girlfriend, Victoria Corcoran. That was a fun team that all the South Bay guys were cheering for big time. So yeah, my boy Brendan Lemieux was down there getting fired up. I saw a bunch of videos of him having a good old time. So so there's your Laguna Open update.
Awesome.
Moving on to the women's indoor scene, where we got Stanford on fire, 2 straight wins against the number 3 and number 2 teams in the country. Stanford just took down Minnesota and Nebraska back to back in 4 sets. That's
huge for the Pac-12,
and that's on the road too.
That's huge.
That's wild.
The Pac-12, they got some teams this year. Also, shout out your Rainbow Warriors, and one of my good friends, Kate Lang, got the game-winning block to get a reverse sweep against USC.
Rainbow Wahine.
Yeah,
the Rainbow Wahine. Sorry. I'm still working on my Hawaiian lingo. I've never made my way out to the University of Hawaii. I've been to Hawaii many times. I gotta go see a game out there at least once.
You gotta come with us.
I'll come to the Santa Barbara Hawaii game at Hawaii.
Dude, you gotta come with us, and we'll show you a good time.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'll bet we'll film some great content.
Oh, of course.
I'm in.
Sold.
Hey, just let me know. I'm in. But yeah, back to Stanford. Yeah, so one player to shout out from Stanford. Aaliyah Rubin. She's from the Palisades. Her brother, Luca Rubin, was my volleyball teammate at Loyola as a he played freshman volleyball. He ended up becoming a college baseball player. I think he plays at Babson, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not 100% on that. But he's a good kid, and his sister is killing it right now for Stanford. She's a true freshman starting. I think she won Freshman of the Week at least once. I'm not 100% sure, but I've seen that she's starting and that she's doing really well. I think in the match against Minnesota. Let me pull up the stats here.
Those are huge. 2 and 3 in the country in Pac-12.
I know.
What people don't understand sometimes is that who you beat. So having wins over the top Big Ten schools is going to be huge for the conference, because that means also in the Pac-12, whoever beats Stanford, it kind of bumps their RPI and everything up too. So there's a lot that plays into it. So those are 2 huge, especially on the road. Those 2 wins alone will get them into the tournament. Yeah, easily.
I mean,
they get 500 the rest of the year. Those 2 wins alone will get them in.
Their 2 losses are they lost to Texas in 3, who's the number 1 team in the country, and Penn State, who's a ranked team in the Big Ten. So, I mean, those are 2, like you said, Joe, those are 2 really impressive wins. Good to see Stanford doing really well, and good to see the Pac-12 overall, I think, has been doing pretty well. So
they need it. And they
do. They do. The Pac-12 is losing USC and losing UCLA is going to be a big deal.
And I heard a couple others are soon to follow.
Oh, actually, yeah, they are.
And I think Pac-12 is going to be falling apart here pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, you lose UCLA and USC immediately. Like,
if anyone's,
those are your 2 money makers. Those are your 2 money makers. Stanford's a great athletics program, but like they're just not that good in the big sport. They're not that good basketball. They're not that good in football. So like that, they're not going to be a money maker, really.
This is true.
All right. Well, on to our next news topic. This one is interesting. Gage actually shared this with me.
I did.
But we're going down to Mississippi. I didn't know they played volleyball in Mississippi.
Thanks too much, brother.
All right. If anyone plays volleyball from Mississippi, please reach out to me. Like, I'll help you. You probably don't know how to play. But anyway, on to the next one. All right. So in Mississippi, some Mississippi news. The former governor of Mississippi, Phil Bryant, has admitted to helping Brett Favre fund a $5 million volleyball facility for the University of Southern Mississippi.
Yeah.
Through welfare money, right? Is that right on that?
Yeah, no, you're right, because his daughter Brett Favre was like, he kept talking about it. They need a new facility.
Yeah.
and it was for his daughter who plays there. His daughter plays at University of Southern Mississippi, and then he builds him a new. He takes welfare money and builds him a new stadium.
Dude, that's so gnarly.
It's a boss move.
Just a gnarly volleyball parent.
I guess.
Brett Favre he's a volleyball dad. I mean, what are we gonna say? I mean, what do you expect?
You go to prison for that.
He is. I think there's like 12. I don't know if it's on the mayor.
No,
or him.
it's not
12.
him. Favre and the governor and the former governor somehow got off, but there's one other guy who's got like 12 counts of.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what I'm talking about.
It's just
It's a lot of money to be.
So basically, here from the article, I'm article reading off my phone, MississippiToday.org. When Favre asked Bryant how the new agency director might affect their plans to fund the volleyball stadium, Bryant assured him, "I will handle that. Long story, but had to make a change. But I will call Nancy and see what it will take." And the newly released file text on filed Monday by an attorney representing Nancy's new nonprofit show that Bryant, Favre, New Davis, and others worked together to channel at least $5 million of the state's welfare funds to build a new volleyball stadium at the University of Southern Mississippi.
Hell yeah!
What a dope.
He loves his hate.
$5 million in Mississippi. Like what? I mean, let me check their record. I mean, this team better be
Southern Mississippi, University of Southern Mississippi, 100%. And think about how much $5 million go in Mississippi. I mean, that's gonna be like a state of the art galactic empire looking.
Let's see. Yeah, this better be a sweet stadium for Southern Miss. All right. I mean, they're 7-2.
Who do they play? Name some of their opponents.
Well, they beat UTSA, McNeese State.
San Antonio, Texas.
McNeese State? Where are these teams from?
They lost to Bama. Roll Tide. Lost to
course.
Bama.
Roll Tide.
In 4. Close battle. They lost to Stephen F. Austin. They beat
big basketball schools.
Yeah, they beat Houston Baptist in their last game and Missouri Valley State in the game before.
And the Mississippi School of the Blind as well.
Hold on, let's see. Is Favre's daughter like a stud? Like, let's check this out.
Oh, we have to. We're digging down this rabbit hole. We have to.
No, she's not on the team anymore. So this is from a couple years ago then. Holy crap. All right. What year was Favre's daughter on Southern Miss? Let's check.
Maybe she's going in there. Maybe she's going into the program.
She's going into the program?
Maybe, dude. Maybe this is an alumni. There's no way he's going to steal welfare money if his daughter's not there.
I mean,
maybe
it's the former governor, so it's got to be from a couple years ago then, right?
This is true.
All right, well, she was on the team before 2020. I'm not going to do any more effort into that because I'm not that focused on it. But, hey, so that's pretty wild, boys. $5 million into that. Hey, another story for you. I don't know if this is 100% true. I'll leave it as an Easter egg until I get clearance if I can say it or not. But USC picked up a nice little transfer piece, supposedly.
Women or men?
Guys or girls?
Men's.
All right, give me a clue. Then you didn't say it, then we guessed it.
Did they play for a team in the same conference or in the Big West?
Yeah. Yes.
Same conference?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't say. I don't think I
from
can
UCLA.
Say it
Is it from
No,
UCLA?
I have an idea who it might be.
He is from UCLA, but I can't say anymore. I cannot say anymore.
Okay.
I could guess, but I don't know.
Don't do it.
We won't get Strokey in trouble. We'll get Strokey in trouble.
Don't get me in
Everybody's
trouble.
leaving UCLA to go to SC.
That's true. Kobe Bryant last year. Not everybody.
I mean, hey, we love that. Right?
Hey, fight on, brother. Fight on,
brother.
And last but not least, this is non-volleyball related. Shout out my boy Sam Hartman from Wake Forest coming back from blood clots and throwing for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns last week.
That's impressive.
Won me a bet. So stoked for him. Very proud of him.
Deacon, was it Deacon Demons?
Go Deeks. Demon
Deeks.
Demon Deeks, baby. That's a sick campus, by the way.
The Demon Deeks women's volleyball team is getting better too. They had
Coach Randy Smart.
Yeah.
We met her.
Didn't you guys do it?
Oh,
We toured there. We went there.
I had a very nice conversation with her. I follow her on Instagram. She follows me.
What did you think? What did you think of the Winston Salami? What did you think of Winston Salem? Give me your honest thoughts.
We set up a grass court right in front of the main quad there.
Oh, dude, the quad is so sweet. Did you see
Yeah.
Poteet Hall? I lived in Poteet Hall,
Yes,
right across
we
the
did.
street right there. Yep.
And then
Yeah.
we took a full tour around basketball, football, volleyball facilities. We saw everything. So
It's amazing there.
Sweet.
It's just hot,
Yeah,
man.
no.
It's just hot.
They had
It's
fuel
hot.
stations that solid fuel stations, I must say.
Solid.
Yeah. Yeah,
Good
no,
for you guys.
They had all the snacks we
facilities
were
are sweet. The
going in
facilities
on.
are pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. The facilities were unreal, and it is talk about hot. It's not just hot; it's humid.
Oh,
there.
that was
Or-
crazy hot there. Yeah.
They got that
But
North
that's what I
Carolina
mean. Like they
heat.
don't like, in those states over in the South, over up there, they don't have real beach volleyball weather, so they don't have real beach volleyball players. Shout out my boy Evan Corey. He finally made the move out here. He didn't become a real beach volleyball player until he moved to Hermosa.
I mean, he's had a lot
You know
more
what I
success
mean?
now. I mean, you're not
yeah, a lot
you're not
more.
wrong.
Ever since he moved out here, he's magically a main draw player.
Ever since
What
he
can I say?
started playing fours, the thing is, once you start
That's
playing
true.
fours, then you're
Is that
doubles
what
game.
is that
Your
what you
ace
think?
game.
Is
Once
that
you're-
what you think?
Yeah, once your ace game, once you start playing
Next
ace,
level.
everything else kind of starts
Yeah, I mean,
coming together.
I guess maybe that works for some people. It did for all the old school guys. That's for sure.
That's true. That's true. No.
All right, boys. Shout
You're the
out
man.
everybody. All love, aloha, best of luck over in Germany. When's your first game? Tell the people.
Well, we have two friendlies tomorrow.
Okay, no
and
one
the
gives
day
a
after.
shit about those.
100%.
What about the real
And then we
game?
play James Shaw and Steinved and Tilburg in 2 weeks
Ooh.
in the Bounce House Cup, and it'll be streamed. Don't worry, we'll tell the
All
fans.
right,
We'll announce
all
We
right,
got
it.
the
well,
prime time match that night.
Do we actually?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Are we the biggest
All
match
right,
of the
we
night?
will-
match in Germany.
Whoa, what time is that in America?
It is 11 a.m. in California.
That is
PST.
not that bad. I'm in the middle.
11 a.m.?
What day is that on? What day is
This
it?
is the
He doesn't know what
last
he's doing the night
Friday
be-
of September.
Oh God, Friday.
Perfect. I don't have school
Yeah.
on Fridays. Maybe I'll throw it on for you guys.
You
And
have to. You're the man.
We'll break
You're
it
the man.
down. Maybe I'll break it down and roast both of you on your next podcast. We'll
Oh,
see what
perfect.
happens.
Oh, perfect. We
All
would
right,
love
that's what
that.
we
We would
expect.
love that. We expect
Love
nothing
that.
else. All right,
All right,
you're the
fellas.
man. Shane News,
You-
everyone.
Shakas.
You can handle the heat. Yeah. You can handle the heat.
And welcome back to If You Can't Handle the Heat. Always a pleasure having Shano on with our new favorite segment, Shano News. Now, what would you say your new favorite segment is? Shano News or Overseas Shiza?
Shano News. Mike hasn't been on for though, so he only has one answer.
That's a good point. Fair enough. Now, with that being said, let's get to our next segment, Overseas Shiza, brought to you by Dr. Price Electrolytes. Ask them for 20% off. Link in the bio. Micah, let's get a rolling here, buddy.
Okay, so I was told I was going to be on Overseas Shiza. And actually something that I wanted to talk about that I didn't get to talk. Well, first off, if you didn't see it on my Instagram, I adopted a cat here in Turkey.
Named?
Its name is Bear.
Bear.
It's a black mini panther, Bombay cat. But basically,
next
long
to you?
story short, it's really nice to me. Has some attachment issues, follows me from room to room, and has to be on my lap a lot of the time. But long story short, me and Zana had run into this baby cat a few times outside of our apartment. We had given it to some kids who said it was theirs a few times, and after they lost it for the third time, it followed us into like the place where our elevators are, and I just told her, just pick it up, let's take it up. The kids knocked on our door and asked for him back, and I said no. I said we've given it to you 3 times and you've lost it 3 times, and if you want it back, tell your parents to come talk to me. And the parents haven't come back, so I guess this cat is mine. There's a lot of stray cats and a lot of stray dogs in Turkey. But this one in particular just didn't have, we never saw a black cat mom, and we never saw other kittens. So we were a little bit worried because it looked like 3 or 4 weeks old, and just was alone outside. So we took it in. But that's not my overseas side of the story. I wanted to talk about things that you immediately notice overseas that make more sense or less sense than in America. And 2 things that come to mind. One is the half shower doors in hotels and in like France or whatever the case may be are the most ridiculous. Block no water. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking. Like for sure, you guys know what I'm talking about. But I don't know if the people that are listening know what I'm talking about. But basically, it's like a tub or it's not. But half the shower has like glass, and the other half is just wide open. And you basically have to like put the shower head facing straight down, and turn it on like half the water pressure, and like try and protect water from leaving the shower. And I just remember being like, why in the heck did a whole country like has no one pointed out like let's put glass the whole way and like have it open and close. So that was the first thing. What was your guys' experience with that? Did you guys
first shower? Well, my dad. Anybody who knows my dad knows that he's a pretty stubborn person in general. So he comes, and I'd been living with it at this point for 3 years, my first year. And my dad just, what the crap is? It drives him nuts. Every place I go, everywhere I've moved since, he's like, does your shower have an actual door? Like, that's the first thing he always asks. Does your shower have an actual
really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, so that was the first thing that popped up.
No, I had my first apartment was like that, and it was useless. You just might as well not have anything.
Oh, it's so ridiculous, and it's in every hotel, and I'm like, how does a whole country not figured this out yet? Like smart countries that have figured out
I haven't asked
a lot of things
for an explanation.
No, me neither. We'll come back. We should ask and come back with something. I don't understand. Whatever it is, I haven't figured out its use, and I've only seen the disadvantages. And the disadvantages are that you can't take a normal shower, and that's
Dude,
pretty big.
They had the same thing last year for me in Bulgaria. It was I just have a pool of water, and the glass doesn't go all the way down, so it doesn't even block the water that would go under it. I'm like, I remember I'd get out of the shower and I'd be raging. I'd be like, what the hell? Like I'd be like, what the hell even is that for? Like I'm just like raging at this thing, and just the most ridiculous thing. I was like, at least put it all the way down so it blocks half the water. I mean, not even that.
So ridiculous.
No. Also, when you have to pay for water here, that makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. I'm like, just give me free tap water. That's all I ask for. But then for here, they're like, oh, you got to pay for your bathroom. You got to pay for your water. That makes me so annoying. So annoyed. So annoyed.
So that was the number one thing that came to my mind. The second thing that came to my mind was stoplights and how it goes. So in France, at least, they weren't in front of you and they weren't big. They were like they're to the side, and then here it goes like yellow to red, and I think that's really nice. Like that's something that they figured out that we haven't. I think some places in America have it, but the fact that like there's a warning before it's a green makes a lot of sense, so that everyone can be like, oh, okay, like I'll stop looking at my phone, or I'll check in a little bit because it's going to turn green, or whatever. No, whatever the case that a person could be doing, they'll be like, okay, like we're going to get going. And you don't have that weird, awkward, like, because sometimes lights are short. And if it's a short, like left-hand turn light, you spend half the time with like this first person taking it out and going, second person like reacting and going. And then there's this huge lag, and everyone catches up and then you never make the light.
That's true.
But in this case, hopefully we're all on a little bit better page and we can all be a little bit more efficient. I'm all about efficiency. And so that was the second thing. And then third, they're just a lot more energy like efficient over here with like the hotel like key card with the lights on and off and dryers and like even we didn't realize this, me and Joe, on our first trip to Argentina. I had no clue that the rest of the world uses different plugs.
Yeah.
Like that was a shock to us. Remember, they're like, get a plug. And I'm like, I have plugs. And you're just like, wait, what?
You don't even think about that. It's just something you don't even think about.
You'd never even think about it. And America is so big, and like so many people don't leave it because there's so much there. And none of those people realize that like, even to plug in like your laptop, like the wall outlets are just 2 holes. Like there's no third prong, and they're not prongs. They're like circles.
They're like rods.
They're like rods. And so those are some things that I wanted to point out. It's not necessarily a story, but it's overseas shiza that we came into like contact with that stood out to me.
It's
Windows.
it's completely normal to have your washing machine in your kitchen. See that all the time. Most places I live, my washing machine's like.
There's only two
in my
places, kitchen or bathroom. I feel like that's like what they do.
Yeah.
But
100%.
yeah, if you guys have any to add in that where you were like, oh, this makes a lot more sense, and how has America not figured this out? Or like, oh, how could this whole country not figure out that
Gage brought up
there's
on
a better
paying
way to
for
do
the
this?
bathroom. I think that's
Paying for the
absolutely absurd.
bathroom, like in public, you mean?
Yeah, I'm like, people gotta go to the bathroom. It's like water, bathroom, all that stuff. I feel like you shouldn't have to pay for in everyday life stuff like that. Why am I paying
Yeah, that
to
makes
drink
sense.
water and have to go to the bathroom? Stuff that like any basic human needs.
I feel like there's definitely, at least in their defense, there is a small benefit attached to it, and it's like those bathrooms are a little bit cleaner, and like public
Sometimes.
restrooms can really get destroyed, and like then it's not even worth going to the bathroom anyway. So there's at least a
Yeah.
little bit of like, I can see where their reasoning is. Like, okay, we're gonna have
Well, it
people
literally
pay
just
for it
turns
so
out
that.
our whole team always they just don't pay, so the whole team's lined up in the back of the gas station just peeing into the fence. It's like, all right, well, you don't have to pee in the bathroom. You don't have to
Oh, that's
pay
Lunenburg.
€2.50 every single time you have a bathroom. We're just gonna pee out in your back of your gas station every time. All like a line.
I'm gonna pee in front of your gas station. I'm gonna take
That's fair.
I'm gonna take a Cleveland steamer right in your gas station. Overseas Shiza, my favorite personal segment. Let's get in kind of the meat and potatoes of this thing. All right, so my mom just recently sent us. Did you see what she sent us? Oh, she talked about it yesterday. About Matt Anderson. Now, this is alleged. My mom, I guess, goes on Volley Talk, or someone sent it from Volley Talk to her, that Matt Anderson, who is going to China, is now signed with Zenit Kazan for over 2
Did you hear this?
2 years, $2 million in Zenit Kazan, joining Micah Christensen.
Wait, 2 years, 2 million, or 2 million per year?
I'm gonna read this post that my mom sent me on Volley. This is on Volley Talk. So take it with a grain of
So
salt.
why are we reading posts on Volley
Because
Talk?
they said it was posted in a Russian media. I'm gonna read it. Take it with a grain of salt. Take it for what you want.
All right.
Here we go.
I don't agree with reading on Volley Talk, but okay.
Well, should we just not talk about it then?
You brought it
No,
up.
no,
This
no.
is you.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Isn't it our job to talk about rumors though?
Depends what you consider rumors, but yes,
Would this not be a rumor?
valid rumors.
How do we know what a valid
People say
rumor?
stuff all the time.
Okay, but think about it. How do you validate a volleyball
Read your
rumor?
dang post that you.
That's all
want
I'm
to
saying.
Read your dang Volley Talk. Gage is a Volley Talk account.
I don't. I haven't been on here in years. All right, here we go. Rumors are saying that 2-year contract worth $2 million with a Chinese fan. I guess it's a Chinese fan who's saying this, who knows a little bit about our volleyball league. It is really difficult to say that next season we'll have matches considering the zero COVID policy, and it's not being the first time when Matt comes to China that he needs to quarantine a hotel for 14 days and found out there are no matches ahead. Considering Matt's age, he probably wants to get more money for his family, which I think is completely reasonable. I hope nothing will happen to him, of course, and also Micah. So 2 years with $2 million, $1 million each year. Going to Zenit Kazan. Because I didn't know this, but I didn't know Zenit Kazan lost to St. Petersburg. Zenit Kazan, who has a higher budget, St. Petersburg or Zenit Kazan?
I have no idea.
So
Well, they're tied up
it's
there.
saying he's playing with Micah. He's
playing with Mike. He's going to Zenit
He's
Kazan.
playing for Zenit St. Petersburg, is what I was told.
What?
That's what I was told. In St. Petersburg.
We just don't
And
know
if
what
you
we're
go
talking
to a
about,
lot of World of Volleyball is reporting that, and there's a couple other pages right now, but that he's going to Zenit St. Petersburg.
I guess. Oh.
So
Good call, Joe. My man. Well, we're on
I
this
just
subject,
want to
though.
hear Gage's sources.
Oh, you just want to make a fool out of me? My sources, me.
Because Gage,
My sources trust me, bro.
that's part of it. Gage just says stuff on the podcast sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's something we should probably look further into.
Is that a bad thing, though, if I just start slinging it?
Yeah.
Well, how's it a bad thing?
I don't know.
I
just-
apologize if there's some small noises that are going on. It's the first time
No, you're good. I'm just
the
saying, if there's
cat
stuff brought up,
podcast.
like serious conversations, Like last week's topic about
Okay.
prostitution.
Okay, that was firsthand.
You just heard from somebody.
No. Our friend's teammate was telling me about it. Or telling her about it. She told me.
Yeah,
She experienced it.
Okay, if they experience it,
There we go.
then totally fine. But if you're just
Valid.
saying stuff based off what somebody tells you and then
That's
you
fair.
list it as something as fact, then it's like maybe we should look a little further into that before we're just
That's true.
throwing out rumors.
That's
Even
true.
though we hear a lot of stuff. That's one thing.
We hear a lot of stuff. I just like
we
to
do
start.
hear a lot of stuff at times.
I like to spread
And I'm
rumors.
not saying most of it isn't true,
That's fair.
but we got to be a little bit more mindful at times.
That's true. I'll be mindful, just like being mindful of replenishing my electrolytes with Dr. Price Electrolytes. Ask them for 20% off. Link the bio. That was smooth. Now, the main thing I want to kind of talk about, well, on the subject of contracts, I was curious, who are the top 10 highest paid volleyball players in the world? An article got posted on Egypt Scholars. So you know it's good. It's good stuff. They posted it this year, and I kind of checked out with other websites, and they had...
What other websites do you check it with?
All right, but
Yeah,
I checked out with...
This is perfect timing, right after we talk about checking our sources.
No, dude, trust me, bro. No. I checked the bottom four as well. Now, we have more contact to some of these players, so we can ask them man to man or woman to man.
That's what they're gonna do. Come on and tell us what they're gonna do.
No, exactly. So we gotta look it up ourselves. Basically, what we were talking. Basically, this article got posted in November 2022, and it includes men and women, and this is the most people gotten paid of all time, for example, and it only does 1 year. This is like seasonal worth, like blank was seasonal. All right, I'm gonna read down the list of top 10. Let me know if any of these surprise you. But one thing that's a good point, I don't think they include the Japanese. Well, maybe they do. I don't know. We'll see. All right, first one from China, Zhu Ting, $1.6 million a season.
Wow.
Number 2, Wilfredo Leon, $1.4 million a season. Number 3, Katrina Gamova, the Russian opposite, $1.4 million a season. Number 4, Irvin Ingapeth, $1.35 million a season. Number 5, Bartosz Kurek, $1.1 million a season. Number 6, throwback here, Logan Tom, $1 million per season. Number 7, Robert Landry Simone, $967,000 a season.
That's crazy. A middle getting paid almost $1 million. You played 3 rotations.
Yeah, I wonder how accurate these are.
Well, let me finish this and then we can get after it. Dmitry Mazursky, $950,000 a season. Alexander Anastasievich, $920,000 a season. And number 1, Georgi Grozer.
No, this is number 10.
What did I say?
I don't know. You
My
said
bad.
number
Yeah,
one.
you said number 1.
My bad. Number 10, Georgi Grozer, $870,000 a season. I think these are all. This is all time. And I think that maybe they don't include. Shout out to Jordan Ewert here. He pointed out maybe they don't include all like the Japanese contracts or all the Asian country contracts because there are some. I mean, I know guys are making $1 million there, and this got to below $900,000, below $1 million.
If we're talking about something surprising, I would be shocked if Simone was getting paid that much money.
Well, he's been there.
$1 million to a middle.
But think about it. He's so.
You played 3 rotations,
Okay,
half the game.
That could have been when he was in the Middle East, though. And he played right side.
Did it
Yeah.
say? In Gage's source.
The Egyptians.
Well, I also, for some reason, thought that Clay Stanley would be in there. In
Yeah, so
volleyball when he was
I
with
don't know how-
Zenit, maybe.
No, you're right, 100%. I think this isn't the last. No, I mean Logan Tom was in it. We should just ask him. I'm just gonna go start DMing people. Hey, how much money you make? See how that goes. You know.
Sources tell us
start
that you're
slinging it.
making approximately.
Is this
My
true?
sources have told me.
My sources of trust me, bro. But those are, I think, like I said, I don't think they're incredibly accurate, but I would say a lot of those are pretty accurate on my sources. I've checked out my sources. Don't worry, guys. With that being said, just remember, if you want to support the boys, link in the bio. Buy some merch. Also, once again, shout out Dr. Price Electrolytes. Link in the bio. Add some 20% off. Just remember, can't handle the goddamn kitchen. That's been another episode presented by Addis System.